What is up, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of the Danny Show. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. And as you can see by the special introduction, tonight is gonna be a dark night. You see, today is May. I think I better I know we're talking about somebody else, but I better not say what today's date is because I might piss off another wrestler. But today is May, 10 days after the 9th. But that means two things. Actually, that means three things. One, Andre the Giant. Two, a date that is triggering to Kane, which is why I won't say what today's date is. And three, the minister, the leader of the House of Black, Malakai. And today I'm going to give you a top 10 countdown of my top 10 favorite matches of Alistair, aka Malakai Black, from both AEW and NXT and WWE. Let's get started with number 10. We have Alistair Black, the angle of WWE, versus AJ Styles. Or should I say, Alan Jones, the man set to face Seth Rollins soon. But this match was a no holds barred match that took place at the Elimination Chamber, and it wasn't that bad to me. I thought it was pretty interesting. What made this match extra special, besides the fact that fans got what they want with the tables, was that we got a special appearance from the original wrestler of darkness, The Undertaker, interfering on the behalf of Aleister Black to attack his upcoming rival, AJ Styles. And due to The Undertaker's interference, it helped Aleister Black win the match. And this was before the pandemic came and screwed a lot of things up. Number 9, we have from the Malakai angle, we have Malakai Black versus Cody Rhodes on an episode of AEW Dynamite on September the 22nd, 21. Now, a couple of things about this match were interesting. Number one, this was their second meeting because their first meeting, Malakai totally decimated Cody Rhodes in over 5 minutes. Another thing about this match is we saw Mrs. Rhodes, Brandy, give two stone cold fingers to Aleister Black. The boldness of Brandy. Who said it was open finger night? Just kidding. But in any event, despite all of that, despite taking a diamond cutter and a flying cutter and a crossroads, Malakai came back to not only blow miss, but win another match against Cody Rhodes for the second time in a row in a much more epic competitive set in a match. Number 8, we have in WWE, we have Aleister Black versus now member of the House of Black, Buddy Murphy, at that time now known as Buddy Matthews. But this took place on an episode of Raw, December the 30th, 2019. Now, as good as TLC was, this was a rematch from TLC, and as good as that was, the match on Raw was a lot better. You see, this match we saw more high flying moves from both guys and a lot more epic kickouts. But what made it more interesting was that this time it took not one but two black masses to make Buddy Matthews, at the time Buddy Murphy, fade to black. But those two had classics, and that was one of them. Next on this list at number 7, we have, alongside Ricochet, excuse me, on the side of Ricochet, we have Ricochet and Aleister Black on the NXT version versus the Viking Raiders to open up NXT TakeOver New York in Brooklyn. This was one of the best tag team matches I have ever seen in NXT. And we saw Ivar fly a few times. That's not something you see often. But we saw a lot of high flying moves from both guys, and both teams had a huge respect for each other going in, and they had extra respect for each other when they came out of the event. And they, despite losing the match, Alistair and Ricochet received an ovation from the fans, an ovation from some people backstage, including Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And this was before Alistair and Ricochet would go to the main roster. At number 5, no, I'm sorry, that was 7. At number 6, we have Aleister Black, another NXT match. We have Aleister Black versus Adam Cole, baby. Bam. Speaking of Adam Cole, I hope Adam Cole kicks Jericho's ass. I said ash, A-S-H. But I hope Adam Cole kicks Jericho's ass at the next, when they ever have a match together. But in any event, this was an Extreme Rules match, and what better place to have an Extreme Rules match than in Philadelphia, one of the homes of ECW. And this match did not disappoint. Fans wanted tables, they got tables, except Malakai, or Alistair at the time, went through 2 tables. But then later on, we saw, after the interference of Undisputed Era and Sanity featuring Eric Young, after all of that, Alistair did a Sasha Banks-like move, a Meteor, putting Adam Cole through the announce table, which made Mike Ranallo say, Mamma Mia. First of all, man, I miss Mike Ranallo, Mike being on NXT. I can't really get his last name pronounced properly, but Mike on NXT was 5-star. And having him call all those Aleister Black matches makes it extra special. And this was one of them. This was a match he would go on to win, like he did most of these matches, of course. But he didn't win this particular one at number 5. And that was a match where he defended his NXT championship against Tommaso Ciampa. Usually, I don't include a match where someone loses the title on their countdown. But this match happened to be so amazing. This took place on an episode of NXT on July 23rd, 2018 for the NXT Championship. And this was a match that saw these two, Tommaso and Alistair, go at it on a televised show, and it was awesome. The thing was, even while it was awesome, it had a dirty finish. And it was when Johnny Gargano accidentally hit Aleister Black with the NXT Championship belt, and Tommaso would capitalize and win the match and end up winning the NXT Championship. Now, that would set up a lot of things, including the match that is next on this list, and that is Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black at NXT War Games 2018 at number 4. Now, this is vengeance for what happened with the match we had on number 5, but also due to the fact that it was supposed to be a triple threat match. It was set to be a triple threat match at the upcoming takeover between Black, Ciampa, and Gargano. However, Aleister Black was mysteriously attacked, and it was Nikki Cross who would reveal that it was Johnny Gargano who did it, turning Johnny Gargano heel, which the first 2 times, and that was a short heel run. but it turned him heel, and it was set up a match to happen at that year's Takeover War Games, and it would be a match that Aleister Black would win, and he would atone, as he said before using Black Mass. He said, "I atone you for your sins." And Black Mass is no way to be atoned. That sucks. For Johnny Gargano, that is. Speaking of War Games, let's go to number 3. We have Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream. Now, let me just say, anybody who has the courage to challenge Aleister Black in the name of remembering your name, it takes some serious spine and a lot of fruits. And Velveteen Dream did just that. It's like, usually, it's like going up to the Undertaker and saying, "I want you to face you," or going up to the Fiend Bray Wyatt, I miss Bray Wyatt by the way, and saying, "I want to face you." It's certain people that you don't approach. There are certain wrestlers you don't approach, they just approach you. And these are one of those wrestlers. Black was one of the wrestlers that you didn't want to approach. Velveteen Dream said otherwise, and he wanted Black to say his name. Black refused. So they ended up having a match at NXT War Games 2017, in which, unfortunately for the Dream, his dream faded to black because Aleister finished it. And by the way, notice in the build-up, Velveteen Dream said it first. Romans acknowledge me. By the way, Velveteen Dream said it first. So it seems like Roman got acknowledge me from the Dream. You heard it here first. But in any event, all of this was so that Velveteen Dream can get Black to acknowledge his name. He did after he lost. And after Aleister Black defeated the Dream at War Games, he said one simple thing: "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream." Well, at least he said your name. Velveteen Dream wanted to act like Destiny's Child. He got it. Next on this list, we have at number 2 a match where he faced Andrade for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver New Orleans before WrestleMania. So, this match was for the NXT Championship. It was a great match despite interferences from Zelina Vega. And I will say this: Zelina is lucky for 2 reasons. Number 1, those two are a couple in real life. Number 2, this is not the Attitude Era. Because if it were the Attitude Era, Zelina would be in big trouble for interfering in matches like that. Because those were the days of equality butt whoopings, which is what many of us believe Rhea needs today. But in any event, this was a great match, and this would be the match where Zelina's dirty ways would finally catch up to the team, because it was here that Aleister Black would win his first NXT Championship, defeating Andrade. Now let's go to number 1, shall we? Before we go to number 1, let me make an honorable mention, and that is his match against Hideo Itami. At number 1, we have, alongside his House of Black members, Buddy Matthews and Brody King, he faced off against the Elite at Revolution, and that is number 1 on this list. This match was for the AEW Trios Championship, and boy, did everyone give their best. Let me just say this: Brody King moves like a cruiserweight at times. If you look at his size and the way he moved in that match, throwing cannonballs like Kevin Owens, People of that size and height usually don't do that. But let's give credit to Brody King for being able to do that. And also, but the Young Bucks did their high flying moves, and I would love to see Black and Kenny Omega mix it up in a good one-on-one match. That would be great. I would probably be able to fit it into a review for next year. But for now, this match was great. And after Brody King did some damage, it was actually Malakai Black that would get the pinfall and win the Trios Championship for the team and the House of Black. And that's the list. If you enjoyed this list, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and that's all the time I have for you today. And I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. And now we fade to black.